Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition. This comes right after I did my other building one. This one is how to put signage into specialty chests and make a rack. If you are a fan of doing your sideways, this system won't work. So let me show you how this goes. You have to take a sign. You have to make sure you got the dots in the front. You put the sign down. You grab a chest. Oh, I'm out of iron. Hang on, I got some. Let's take the whole stack. So you put your sign down, and then you place your chest, and this is why it doesn't work sideways, is because you won't get the... It's not flat on the side of these chests. They're angled. So I use the back just because of the way I line my chests up. I use the buckle on the front to line it up to the wall. So that's instead of using it the other way. Yeah, I'll take my building apart while I do this. So you have to line up the chests with the back or the front. Either way, whichever way you want to do it. But here's the trick. You have to name the sign first. It has to be named before you do this, because if you do it after you line it up, and one of the things I should note is that when you're lining this up, the words are raised away from the sign a bit. So if you get it to this point where it's flashing, bad, okay. Just past that, the sign is very stable, looks good, right up until you start showing the actual wood of the sign. So in between that flashy part and where the sign shows, that's where you place your chest. Now, the great thing about this is that you can no longer touch the sign. So if you have multiple people playing on your server, or even just yourself, and you've ever walked up to, like these, like my fishing gear, and you miss the chest, and now you get into the fishing gear. And if you're pushing keys, you're, oh man, really? And then if you press OK, well, now you've messed up the sign. Okay. So I came up with this quite a long time ago, actually. I don't commonly use it in the beginning of my builds because it's hard to get coal. Coal comes from, as anybody a little bit further advanced in the game knows, coal comes from the charcoal kiln, but you can overcook food and you get coal as well. Okay, so just stick some necks or something on the fire, let them overcook, and then you'll get your coal in order to make your signs. Where does signage come in? Well, as soon as you touch the coal. So you'll be able to make signs early in the game. This is a little bit later after you get iron and you're able to make the bigger chests. I don't worry too much in the beginning of the game. This was a wall of regular chests, but I'm now going to show you how I make and how I line up for building these. As I said, I use it backwards. My reason for it is so that if you see the buckle, it's heading into the middle of the wall behind. And that lines it up beautifully. Now I'll put down the first chest and I'll check out and I'll make sure I got a little bit of clipping, so I don't really like that. Let's try this again. I got my iron back. So clipping, probably not clipping. I'm just doing it for spacing. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so then go back in, grab a building. Grab your, now you want to press the shift key because you want to be able to freely place it. You don't want it to clip in. And now you want to place this. I'm probably standing on myself here. Yeah, I was. You want to place it so that you're not clipping the chest. Just, I'm going to go there. Looks great. Okay, so continue this down your wall. Okay, all the way down. Oops. Wrongly placed. And all the way down. As far as your storage wall goes, this is the size of mine. Then you want to get rid of this chest and get it out of there. That's my pig farm in the background you're hearing, by the way, all the squeals, because we're generating pigs. I don't know whether I'm going to have that video out or not. There's a gentleman on YouTube made a really good video on how to make a pig farm. So that's okay. So once you got your lineup of 2 meter, make sure you got your dots facing you. And then what you want to do is get as close to, run into the wall, or into the 2 meter. You can see the arrows coming out of the bottom of the sign, so you want to line those arrows up with the middle of the floor tile, and then come towards you until you jump on top of that 2 meter. Place it. Find your next one. Line up your arrows to the middle of that floor tile, and then right before it jumps, place it. Same thing all the way down. I don't cram my chests together only because with the way I build my storage area, I do it so that I can line up a certain amount of chests. And so if you see the other side, you notice like I got room in between each one of my chests. I don't find that I mean, unless you're doing a really, really long section of chests, you'll find that much spacing, you're not going to gain a chest at the other end. Unless you're severely clipping your chests together, which you could do. In which case, then you would add another, probably one more chest space. You probably could. You could clip your chest together that, I don't know, can you? You probably can. Yeah, even on shift free placement, you still can't. I don't think you could. I don't think saving that much as compared to the... Well, you never know. You could try it. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'm not going to. I'm happy with the way this turns out in the end. Okay, same thing. All the way down. Find your middle spot. It's right in front of the 2 meter. You're lining this up for a reason. In case you're wondering why, I'll show you in 2 seconds. Okay, and I also play with multiple people, and so they kept coming up and messing up my... You notice my alignment of my chest? It's almost perfect, eh? Yeah, I kind of like that. So anyways, you've done all of this. Now, get rid of the 2 meter. Don't take out the floor space, because if you do, you're going to mess up your sign, because then your sign's got nothing to anchor itself to. So now your signs are anchored. They're fine. They're good. They're not going anywhere. Now you need to label them. Remember, you have to label your signs before you put the chest in place. Now, if you, because right now we got no black metal, if you happen to want to change a sign, one, you have to empty out the chest. Okay. Get rid of the chest. Get your items back for the chest. Get into the sign, and I might as well show you this now. All right. The sign is black metal, and then all the spaces. It's very simple. You just type in whatever you want. You press spacebar, you get to the end where you can't press the spacebar no more. You backspace once, and you put in an underscore or a dot. You choose whichever one you want. I like the underscore because it kind of hides better, because people don't see the underscore all the time, depending upon what the top text is. A lot of times that underscore hides. Choose your metal chest. I use the back. You could use the front if you want. But because of lining up the chests down below, using it, I thought it would look kind of bad if the bottom chests are the back banding and then the next chest up is the front band. I thought it would look bad. So I just used the back of the chest all the way up. And then you just line up your chest. Once again, don't come too far out. All right? Don't go too far in. You got to find that happy medium. You got to find that happy place right in between. And that's how you change the sign after you've placed the chest. I'd like you to watch. What you're looking at is the front of that sign. Just right here, under Ghibli Gook that I changed from my wife's fishing gear. Okay, you'll notice that you can see the... I can't move my mouse, or I would. Maybe I'll circle it when I edit the video. You'll see that the text is raised away from the sign. It's always been that way. Before... you used to place the sign, you placed a pole. This was the old school way of doing it. So you placed an upright, say here, let's just pretend, and then you anchored the sign to that upright, and then you typed in your word, and then you used a spacebar key, and that pushed the text over. Well, they fixed that. So you can't use the push the text theory. So this is how I've been able to figure it out. Now for me, this end of my is arrows. Oops. And what's the bottom one again? It's bronze, flint, and wood. Now I want a couple spaces between there, all the way, backspace 1, underscore, there we go. So now what I've got is I've got an underscore at the bottom, and I've got arrows, bronze, oops, and then grab my chest, spinny. Now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the top, okay, where I've obviously placed this a little bit right about there, like so. And so, as you saw, the line is at the bottom, but it's fairly hidden on this one. And then you get what's in your chest. You can no longer touch that sign. So I don't care how many times people come by here and throw stuff in and pull stuff out. It doesn't matter. You're not going to touch the sign. You would have to go in with your hammer and then, middle mouse button, whatever you got for your remove key, and you would have to actually remove it to get into the sign. Like I showed you on that side with the black metal. Now, if you get too close, and there is some clipping happening, you notice the gray dwarf eyes is flashing, the black metal is flashing. Okay, but when you get in front of it, it's fine. So there's a little bit on one side, you know what I mean? You can get, I don't want to call it glitches, but you can get a little glitchy with some of the signs. It does happen. But for the most part, hey, if you can walk up, get into your chest, it shows what's in it, and you don't touch your signs, that's just awesome sauce. In my own opinion, anyways. That's I like it. Because then the people I play with aren't messing up the chests as they go in. So, for me, it's weapons. All the way to the end. Backspace 1, underscore. And so, like I said, the best is if you can get it. And I'm watching the buckle at the top to get it in the middle. And then I'm just trying to move it little bit by little bit with my mouse to try and get a good. This one was resist potions. Oop. This one is frost. So you can set this up however you want. I mean, that's that part. Hey, have fun. Everyone has their own way of doing their own storages, and I mean, hey, please use your system. But this is just to get the basically the language out front. What am I going to make this one this time? I got healing potions and stamina pots up top. I can't remember if they added anything yet. We're not too far along in this one. Frost. Yeah, okay, we're not too far out. We're doing a new playthrough, and I'm just setting up the base at this point. Like I said, I don't know which number I'm going to call this because I haven't done up the videos yet to how far along, and I don't want to show this too early. I did a building 6.5 where I showed how to do it with regular chests, and then this is just how I set up for the large scale for my permanent home, or basically permanent base. So I'm going to have, well, let's change this one, because this one is regular wood. This one is fine wood. Fine word. And you always have to go to the end, backspace 1, because if you go to the end, it won't let me put an underscore. So you got to back up 1 and then I put an underscore. Use it whatever you want. And then this ends up being core wood. Okay, and then yeah, ancient and Yggdrasil wood will be up top. Where do I want? No, we'll go stone. Okay. Not a plus sign. Sorry. Hit the right key, not the wrong one. This was a miscellaneous stack here. Okay, and then into the resist. Okay, that's cool. That works. Okay. So now I'm just going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more chests. So yeah, these are these are out here because I had to empty out what I was doing in there. 1, 2, make a full stack. That'll cover me. Okay. So same thing. I'm lining up the clasp with the middle, and then I'm finding a midway point. That was a little low. What did I do there? Oh, that's what I didn't do. I didn't put a underscore at the bottom of that. That's fine. Alrighty. Okay. Building. Okay. Now to set up the, it's shift. Well, this pretty much roams pretty free. I don't have to push the shift, but you'll notice I am going to line it up with the middle of the back board, the back wall, and then I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to be really close with these. That's by design, because I want it as low as possible on the top one. I'm not lining it up with the back, even though it is attaching. I'm lining it up with the one previous, because I don't want to accidentally get it misshapen or wrong. Now, with the way Valheim does their boards, you'll notice that it's a wave pattern. Okay, as you look down on top of this, you'll notice it's wavy. You can't change that. That's part of the game, which is cool. It gives it a rustic look every time you build in wood, which, I mean, hey, that's fine. But pay attention to that. How much coal do I got? 2. I need more coal. I had some somewhere. There we go. Coal. So keep that in mind as you're going down and you're putting signs on. Now remember, I lined up the backboard for a reason. So when I get into the signs, flip it around. Now what I'm looking for here, and you can do your own as far as this goes. I want to be as far enough in so that when I go to place that chest, it's going to hide the sign, and yet the chest doesn't have to be right at the edge of the board. So you don't want to put it at the edge. You want it in, I don't know what to call that. 4 inches? I don't know. You call that whatever you want. But that's about where I want my chest to be. I don't know. We'll try that. So I'll check it with a chest. I gotta get some iron. I'll check it with a chest just to make sure that I'm happy with that. Oops. And yeah, we'll take 10. Okay. Now, in order to get up here, because I want to be on top of this, looking down, I don't want to be off to the side. You can do it off to the side once you get... Well, I guess I could do it. I'm just not... I never like doing it here. I don't think I achieve... See, I'm off by a bit, which is why I don't like doing it here. See the buckle in the back? Up top? It's not lined up. Which means that my bottom bases aren't lined up, which means da-da-da-da-da. If I'm going to take the time to do this, then I want it lined up. Just a personal preference. But what I do know is that my sign is at the right spot. I like that. That's a good spot for the sign. So, I'll get rid of that. I'll go to signage. Spin that back around. Now, when I'm run straight into the boards, I can just run sideways, and I'll keep generally, I'm just strafing to the side, and I'll generally keep the right, you know what I mean? So if I'm pushed in and I go sideways, then I can keep, see, you just keep the same, about the same distance away. Oop. And you just repeat the process all the way down. It's fairly painstaking, but I think I'm usually pretty happy with what I come up with. I'll check my alignment. Looking pretty good. It doesn't seem to work the same on the one side as to the other. Like you get a really good lineup on this side, but not on the other. Anyway, so that's that part. Now you need to name them all. Okay, so everything's all now. How much regular would I got? 2. I need more. That should be in this one. Okay, we'll put that back. So on this one, I start with these stairs. The first space. This is all going to get torn down, of course. And then I put the little walkway. Now, I know that people use the flight to, I guess you could do that. That would alleviate a lot of this setup. I kind of told myself I wasn't going to use commands in this one. I was going to stay away from them the whole playthrough. So we get to here. Now, same thing. I'm lining the buckle up in the back. And then I'm trying to find that happy place between... Oh, I want to find that should be... That'll be 3, and then let's put 5 on there. How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will need 4 more. 2, 4, 6, no, 2 more. And that, and 6 more pieces. I'm heavy. Oh, I should eat. Okay. Am I still heavy? Still encumbered. There we go. So, same thing, all the way down the line. Now I am trying to go closer to the sign than to the letters, because that's where that clipping or not clipping, but that's when that that stuff appears. The gray dwarf eyes, the which one call it metal, the black metal, right? The bronze one. I'm too close on those. So the closer you are to the sign, the better you are. The less of that clipping you're gonna have. But I like to be like 1 pixel backwards. And there we go. Once again, paying attention to the buckle in the back, which is why I use the back of the chest. You could use the front, yeah, but I tend to be able to line up my chest better if I use the buckle in the back. Okay. Now you could come down and check, and I don't see any flashing. I don't see any. Oh, the last one. Flashing a bit. Armor. So let's try to redo that one. And no more flashing. Okay. Kind of happy I messed up on one so I could show you. So yeah, I was just too close to the letters on that one. So no big deal. Now, for those of you not using those, you have to take this down. You could use different systems, I guess. I don't know. This is how I do it when I'm not using keyboard controls, or I mean, console commands. So you want to get back up and above, and then you could build this all the way along. You could actually build it out of large-scale ones. Okay, there we go. Then, I got enough on me. 12, it'll have to do. I can pick those up. Go back to the small pieces. Once again, using the shift, because I just don't want it to anchor. I want to figure out a place just above that chest that looks good. Nope, still clicking. So, looks good. Okay, I like it. It's around the same spacing as my bottom one. Looks good to me. So, down the line we go. Yeah, no doubt. I'm still using the previous piece to clip into as an anchor. Oh. Okay. I'm going to need stairways to go up here because of my rafters are in the way. So I'm going to need a couple stairways up here. Okay, so now that we got that, now if you remember my spacing that I used for my signs before, this gets a little difficult. So in the Nexus mods, there's a build view mod that you can download. I planned on going totally vanilla in this one, so I'm going to have to put up with this. But it's not impossible. Once again, enough space And then you just have to duplicate it all the way down your line. I like to get this one a little closer. You'll notice I am pushing what you might call the boundaries of getting close. It's because it's the top chest. And of course the top chest is the top chest, so it's a little funner to get into. So I'm going to push a little closer to the edge. Not right at the edge. I don't want to be right there, but pretty close to the edge. And down we go. I think I can get to this one, yeah. And there, and there we go. And last one. Okay. Now you have to leave the walkways up there because you're still going to have to be up there. So this is, once again, go down your line, name everything. Okay. So now you could check that for, that's not bad. I'm looking at the labels, the words. See if anything's, nothing's flashing on me. Okay. And then just get rid of this. Alrighty. And then I'll put all that stuff away and all these chests come out of the hallway. And yeah, good to go. So there you go. That's how I set up my storages. This is basically my storage room just off the kitchen, which is just off the whatchamacallit area. I do have storage chest over there for, this is basically for overflow. And then the drop chest, where people just come in and after they finish adventuring, they just drop stuff right here. And there you go. That's how I set it up, folks. Anyways, have yourself a good night, and hope this helped you out. If it did, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more from the channel and whatnot, and help my channel out. And hey, please leave a comment down below if this helped you out in any way, shape, or form. You could mess with the signage so that you don't get the healing, so that it shows up like the stamina did, rather than the other resist potions and whatnot. I'm not that particular myself. But you can, like I was doing over here, you can mess with the spacing as to how many spaces are after elemental, and you might not even need the bottom underscore line. But I find that works for me. Anyways, have a good night. Thanks for joining me.